this is where I'm going, and I'd like for you to come with me. So you gave him the option, right? It's not like, this is where I'm going, man, and you can't come along. That would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then here's the thing. After that conversation, if they don't elevate their game like you are, you got to cut them loose. Because why? It's dead weight.
Yeah, that's true.
It's dead weight. Anything not aligned with what your goals are is dead weight. And that includes people. And that might include family. It might include best friends you've had since elementary school. The smart person will learn from their own mistakes. A wise person will learn through the mistakes of others. So that's to say, entrepreneurs don't read enough. They don't research enough. They don't take time to plan. They just go. And if you just go, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. Bam. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the End-to-End Podcast, and I am your host, Dr. Yun Win, or affectionately called the Ninja. And because I want my audience to be my friends too, you can call me Ninja as well. This is the End-to-End Podcast, the Alpha to the Omega, the beginning to the end, talking about life, motivation, drive, success, self-improvement, and offering you morsels in this all-you-can-eat buffet called life. This is the last episode recording for 2023. It's been a fantastic year of growth, of subscribers, followers, and such. And as such, I want to start this episode as I start my day with an expression of gratitude. I always thank God, the universe, for another day to be great. And so I want to thank you for liking, following, subscribing, sharing, especially sharing this show. I do this on my own dime, on my own time, which means I spend a lot of money, a lot of time, full team here to help bring this content to you so that it might improve your life in some way or somebody that you know. And so if it does, if you find value in the show, please do share the show. As I say, if you're knowledgeable, share the show. That is how we grow. If you're new to the show, we have multiple formats. Usually it's just me giving a 15, 20-minute dialogue on a concept related to life, success, drive, motivation, or whatever. Sometimes we have a guest. We're calling that Prolific People. The episode that just dropped today, this is being recorded ahead of time. The one that dropped today was with Roderick Batson. A phenomenal story, especially during this time of Christmas, the holidays, and giving. Great episode. We also have two other formats, which is Prolific Point of View, where a co-host, my co-host producer, Arib Mirza, will give a couple current event topics, which we just talk about and give point of view. And then today's episode, which is Prolific Q&A, where Arib will give me a couple questions related to success, business, or whatever. I don't know these questions ahead of time. He's just going to drop them on me, and then we're going to have a conversation about it, give you my point of view that hopefully you find some enlightenment out of. But before we start, I also want to give a shout out to Caleb Creates on Instagram, Caleb Hernandez. I don't know the dude. I just saw him on Instagram. His feed came up. He creates these 3D figurines. Reached out to him directly. It's kind of how business works, just like I reached out to Arib and I asked him to do me some custom ninjas. And so he was like, sure, no problem. Tell me what you want. So I told him, hey, man, give me a regular ninja and give me a war beaten ninja. Kind of symbolic of the way life is, because sometimes things are smooth and sometimes you have to go to battle and get your battle scars to grow. And so he's like, rock on, let's do it. So these just came in fact, yesterday. And I got to tell you, these are so dope. Check them out on Instagram. I think it's Caleb Creates with the CALEB Creates. But the man, shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for hooking me up with these things. Great quality service, great price. So that's just kind of the way business works. You have to put your talents out there for people to find them. Just like my co-host, Arib Mirza, my guy, been with me now for coming on 2 years, in fact, man. So he's been with me all the way, helped me grow. We went from recording in somebody's studio to a different studio, now to his own studio. Now we're adding more to the set, making it look real. So, which in fact it is real, man. It is real, man. But glad to have you back, man. How was your holiday season going?
It's been going good. It's been busy. Like nothing's really changed. Nothing's been relaxing. It's just consistent.
It seems more stressful at the end of the year, right? Like
it does.
Too many things going on, man. too many people wanting to have fun when I'm
Exactly.
still trying to like focus in and getting stuff done. Like,
Everyone wants off.
yeah, everyone's off, take time. I mean, people in my office like, hey, do we get off? I'm like, no, dude, we're working.
And then you have to understand their point
Well,
of
yes,
view.
that's
like,
true too. Yeah, so not everybody's on the same lane, on the same speed as you, but that brings up a good point because you got to go your own speed regardless, right? And people either keep up or they get left behind. And so the ones that do keep up, then that's just how things rise and elevate together. But this is the last episode of 2023. How's your year been overall, man? You know, I've got an outside view of how it's been for you, but what are you feeling?
That's a good question. So my year, I think I've reached some targets.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I would have liked to multiply that this year, but for 2024, I have some goals. Like how I like to see it is, it's the same goals in 2024. Like of course, like more revenue and stuff like that, more studio space, bigger staff, bigger achievements. But I like to think it is, if I want to move forward, I have to see what I did wrong backwards.
Okay, kind of like the S curve, right? You
Yeah.
got to see where you want to go, but then work backwards and see how things can go wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I want to move forward, I want to see what were the things that were holding me back in 2020, 2023.
Yeah.
So if I know the things that were holding me back in 2023, I could focus on those and make sure those things don't happen in 2024.
Yeah. So that's important. So this is a Q&A where he's actually got questions for me, but that brings up a very good point because growth requires you to learn your lessons.
Yeah.
Learns your lessons through things that don't work, right? But in order to find out what doesn't work, you have to be able to take the risk of doing it and risking failure. And that's where most people, I think, don't fulfill their potential because they're afraid to take the step to risk the failure. They're afraid of that failure, so they never take the step to learn from the failure in order to grow. And that is that's a universal law. It's a natural law of physics. You got to fail these experiments to find the ones that work. And so a lot of people, A, are just afraid of that failure, or B, they go through it but never take the moment to reflect and introspect. Like, what did I took this risk? Did I maximize the opportunity, get the results I wanted? And if not, why not, right? So that's cool that you looked at it that way. From the outside looking in, I don't know what's going on in your head, but I've seen you grow tremendously. This dude went from himself slinging a backpack with one camera now to a full studio, multiple mics, multiple cameras, custom studio, so and staff and so on. So
I still sling that back.
yeah, you still sling the backpack. Well, you never forget where you came from, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, man, congratulations on a successful 2023 from the outside looking in.
Appreciate that.
And much success into 24. So let's get the show started. Prolific Q&A. What's question number one?
All right. So, So the first question is, hi, I've seen a lot of working hard videos. I'm ready to work hard, but what do I work hard on so I can aim for that million? That's the first question.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
I
that's
guess-
kind of,
yeah.
So
So I
the
guess this
steps of
person's-
what does working hard mean?
Yeah, so I guess that person's lost on what to work hard on because these motivational videos and people talking about
You gotta
just gotta
work,
work. And
consistent.
this person's like, okay, I'm ready, but what do I work on?
Yeah. That's kind of a hard question to answer because it's not specific enough, let's say, because it depends on your industry or what you're trying to achieve.
Exactly. I think that's where it lands. Like, where does he work hard? Does he focus on one industry? Does he open multiple businesses?
No.
What does he do?
You got to, okay, so there's a lot of steps to that there's a lot of layers to peel off to answer that question.
Mhm.
The first is knowing what to work hard on specifically to you.
Okay.
Right? And the easiest way to figure it out is you got to know yourself to know what you're good at and what you're not good at. And there's a balance between focusing on what side of the ledger to work on. A lot of people will say, stay consistent working on things that you're good at, but then you have holes in your game, right? As you grow. In the alternative, people say work on things that you're bad at. But if those things don't apply to your overall goal, then you're just working on bad things that don't matter.
Mhm.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea here is, what are you good at? What are you bad at? Now, these qualities or characteristics or gifts or talents where can they blend, like a Venn diagram? If you're listening on audio only, I'm like putting my hands together like a weave. There's an overlap of good things and bad things that apply to an industry. Could be service, could be product, could be manufacturing, could be something, right? And that's what you want to focus on. Okay. The things that you're good at and improving the things that you're bad at that apply to the industry or goal that you're wanting to go to. Okay. Now, once you figure that out and figure out attaching that to how to make some money or living off of that, right? There's a book that I love. It's called The One Thing. Now, I think I've mentioned it before. And I'm paraphrasing the concept, but it basically says in any interval of time, whether in the next minute, the next hour, the next day, next week, whatever, next month, next year, what is the one thing I can do now which makes everything else easier? Because there's multiple steps. There's multiple layers of success. There's a formula. There's not a formula, but I got to do this. I got to do this. I got it, right? But what is the one thing that makes doing the rest easier, or you might not have to do it at all?
Is it like giving up something, or?
No. It's finding how to prioritize.
So that could mean giving up some stuff.
It makes you what?
So that could mean giving up some stuff. Like that's stopping you to reach those goals.
No. It's not stopping you because let's say just hypothetically, there's 4 things you can do: A, B, C, and D.
Okay.
If you do A, right, it's like a domino. You knock it over and it just rolls on its own. Okay?
Got it.
If you do B, you knock it over, nothing else happens. If you do C, you knock it over, only 3 or 4 dominoes fall. And if you do D, 10 dominoes fall, but you're still some standing. So you only have time. You only have now to take action.
Yeah.
So out of A, B, C, D, what are you going to do? You want to focus on A, because if you tackle A, all the dominoes roll on their own.
Got it.
So you optimize your time. A might be a hell of a thing to work on. Like, you got to really work hard on A, but knowing that if you knock out A, everything else becomes easier. Right? So it's prioritizing which action, and it's hard to say without knowing the industry or whatever this person's doing, but it's identifying which action at the time and prioritizing that one, which makes everything else easier.
Yeah.
Okay. So for example, it's like, I'll go to the old example, the biblical one. You can teach a man to fish, or you can, teach a man to fish, he eats forever. Give a man a fish, he eats just for the day. Right. So the lawyers on my staff, if I prioritize teaching them how to manage a case, it opens the door up for what? My time, right?
And they do the cases themselves.
And they're doing the cases themselves, so it allows me to bring on more cases, right? Versus me saying, okay, you need to do this task. Write this up. Yeah. Now write this up. Now call the lawyer. Now call the... Yeah. Right? Versus like, okay, this is how you manage a case. Here's our standard operating procedure.
Yeah, putting that time up front.
Yeah. Give them the template. If you have any questions, come talk to me. I'll check in on you. There you go. Yeah. Right? That's that's the one thing I could do that makes everything else easier. Right? So there is a lot of hard work, but at the same time, once you do that, it becomes a lot easier. And that's the balance. So again, go back to, what are you good at? What do you need to work on? Find the overlap of those things that apply to what you want to achieve. Right? Like, I really suck at handiwork. And I know if I really focused on handiwork, I could do it. Yeah. But I really suck at it. But focusing my time on doing handiwork has nothing to do with the businesses I operate.
Mm-hmm. It's a waste of money.
So it's a waste of time to work hard on handiwork. I'll go hire somebody to do it that's better than me, right? So Correct. So you gotta, but like drafting things better, that helps my work. So I'm pretty good at it. But at the beginning, I kind of sucked at it. So I had to really work on language construction, word construction, how to write in terms of perspective and all these things. And so that I had to work hard on it, but that applies to my field, right? So again, finding what you're good at. Communication, always been easy for me. right? I could do things to get better at it, but it's always been easy. So I don't need to work as hard. Other things like, writing, I had to work on, but that applied to what I wanted to do. So it's finding that blend between what you already have in gifts and talents, but what you need to work on as it applies to your industry. And then within that, list the things that you need to do and prioritize which one that, again, the paraphrase, and go read the book. It's a very easy read. You probably can knock it out on a weekend. Great illustrations too. I forget the author, so forgive me, but it's called The One Thing, which is do the one thing right now or in the next hour time period, which makes everything else easier.
Yeah. So I think his question is more towards the money part as well. So he said, aim for $1 million.
I never use money as a goal, right? Because how should I say that? Why aim for $1 million? You're aiming too low. Yeah. Aim for $1 billion. Aim for $1 trillion. Fuck it. Right? So yeah, I set goals for my team, hey, because bonuses are tied to performance and so on. But personally, I don't have goals in terms of money, because when you focus on the money, you're forgetting the main goal, which is what? To provide value, to serve others. Just like Roderick's podcast last week, when you serve others, the money just comes, right? Because ultimately value finds value. Money finds value. People will pay for what they value. So if you're adding value, then the money will come, right? Now, even in today's world, targeting $1 million is like last year's 100,000. Like $1 million is when I was in high school, $1 million was a lot. And I was talking about the 80s and 90s. That's a lot. Yeah. But you talk about $1 million now, that's like 100K or less. Maybe it's 10K.
It's just like
because inflation, because things, just things.
Yeah, that's like a nice house and a car. That's it.
Well, it's not even that, because a lot of people, the way the economy is going, it's not even that. But like the inflation, we can get economic discussion too, but the way the money's been printed and the inflation and all that, $1 million today is not what a millionaire used to be.
Yeah.
You almost got to be a billionaire to be considered a millionaire these days.
So I guess we can rephrase. I know we already answered this question, but just to kind of expand on it, I guess his question is more towards, how do I put this? So how does he reach towards or work on some stuff that like has unlimited potential? I think he's being limited right now.
Well, that's a mindset though.
Yeah.
Right? Because unlimited, you always...
I can assume that's why he said million.
Yeah, well, that's limited thinking, right? Because so here's the thing. Your thinking creates your reality, but the expanse of your thinking can only go as far as your own perspective, right? If you've never been around people worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you're never gonna think in terms of what it's like to have hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's actually the next question.
Oh, is that okay? Sorry, man. Well, the natural conversation leads that way, right? If you've only been around people that, don't have high values, high goals, high dreams, you're going to be limited to that kind of thinking.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So to be limiting, so unlimited potential is a mindset, right? For example, me, I'm constantly, even if I solve a problem, I'm thinking about, okay, how does this solution expand beyond just this problem, right? Yeah. What is that next thing to think about related to this issue that allows you to expand to unlimited potential? Like, this is what I have now, but how do I make it better? That's expansive thinking versus contractive thinking or limited thinking. That's a good chapter for a book. Remind me about that, man. But it's expansive thinking. And so again, your expansive thinking is limited by A, your relative perspective, or B, your imagination. Yeah. Right? If you have no imagination, which a lot of young people don't these days because of they're always glued to their phone. Like, the phone is great as a tool, but once it limits your thinking, it's a negative thing. So when you're scrolling social all the time, it's limited your thinking based on who you're following. Yeah. Like, if you're not following the right accounts where it's causing you to be creatively, thinking, having your wheels turn, it's bad for you actually, because it's limiting your imagination. It's limiting your view of the world to just what you're seeing, right? So, yeah, so you got to be expansively thinking. Yeah, I mean, it depends on age too. Like if you're 10 years old, $1 million might be a lot, right? But if this person who wrote the question is a little bit older, it's like so you got to expand a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah. So would you say the more you know, the more you make? If he works on just
I don't say the more you know, the more you make. It's the more you know, the more options you have, right?
Okay.
Because your perspective, you have more perspective. You have more perspective and more perspective changes everything, man. It's
It
you know
does.
it's because perspective frames the issue, like in the legal world. Like I can frame some inside baseball. This is why a lot of people hate lawyers, is because they look at, you'll see this as a ninja, but I can frame this in so many different ways to get the end result that I want.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So people look at it, if you don't have that thought process, then you don't have an ability to be kind of the mental gymnastics to frame things. But the more knowledge you have, the more you can frame things to ultimately try to angle the situation to what, or influence the situation for the outcome you're looking for.
Got
That's
it.
like advanced level.
So the more knowledge you have, the more perspectives you have.
And the more perspectives you have, therefore you create more options
Got it.
to attack issues or goals,
That makes sense.
right? And finding the best solution and making less mistakes, right? So yeah, that's like super advanced. I need to make a web course on this kind of web course on this thinking. Coming soon, y'all. Coming soon.
All right. Move
Okay.
on to the next question.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do it. Question number 2. I want to surround myself with better individuals. How do I do that? I feel like I'm locked into my current friend group and it's difficult moving away from that and find people with similar mindsets.
Huge question.
Yep.
Huge question. Happens to everybody, man. Here's the thing. I say this a lot. One of the goals as just being human is to evolve, right? Evolution. And evolving as a human means learning more, strengthening your values, what you believe in, doing the things that fulfill you, right? Evolution and fulfillment are tied. So as you evolve, people evolve at different speeds. People find themselves at different speeds. So if your values are success, you might be evolving, because once you lock in on a value or something, that's all you. If you're really about it, you're like you become obsessed. That one podcast, you can become obsessed about it, and that's all you can think about. I want to do this. I want to do this. Okay, I got to do this. And people that aren't in alignment with that, they will naturally fall off. Okay, and if they don't fall off, there's 2 things you can do. You can educate them to hopefully bring them up to speed, right? So that's one thing you can do. Hey, Arif, man, this is my goal for 2024. Like, I'm hyper focused on this.
Yeah.
Like, I would love for you to come with me, man, and win together. But I'm just letting you know, like, if you're not with it, I'm gonna be focused on this.
Your habits don't match mine. Yeah.
You're like, what you want to do don't matter. You want to go party every weekend? I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go out, whatever. I can't. I'm really hyper. So you can talk to your buddies or your circle.
It's going to be uncomfortable. Like,
well, because it is uncomfortable. Okay, going back to framing things, right? You can frame it to where it's not, because what? You've already reached out. You already gave the olive branch. Hey, this is where I'm going, and I'd like for you to come with me. So you gave them the option, right? It's not like, this is where I'm going, man, and you can't come along. That would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? But then here's the thing. After that conversation, if they don't elevate their game like you are, you got to cut them loose. Because why? It's dead weight.
Yeah, it's true.
It's dead weight. Anything not aligned with what your goals are is dead weight. And that includes people. And that might include family. It might include best friends you've had since elementary school.
Family's a tricky one.
It's not tricky, man.
No.
Honestly, it's not.
Let's say you live with your parents and they have like a very, you know how it be with parents
Sometimes you got it. Then, yeah, I know how to, well, especially for Eastern culture, family means a lot. But again, it's having that conversation. Mom, Dad, look,
All right, yeah.
thank you for, we had a podcast on. I think,
yeah.
Mom, Dad, thanks for letting me stay home. I'd like to stay here, but I need to let you know I'm really focused on this. Growing.
Yeah.
And you may or may not like it.
And with any Asian parents and South Asian parents,
You may.
that's a big step.
Yeah, it's a
to
big
take,
step.
by the way.
Well, you may or may not like it.
Yeah.
I hope you support me, but if not, I'm just letting you know. But if they really kind of disown you, like some Asian parents do,
Yeah.
you got to bounce out, man.
Mhm.
You got to find your way, because in the end, what's going to happen? If you compromise to your, how should I say, lesser valued friends or family, it's going to ultimately harbor resentment.
Yeah, and a
'Cause-
lot of people succumb to that.
Yeah.
They'll have that conversation, but then it's just like, they're probably right.
No, because it what happens to dead weight? When you're hanging on a dead weight, you drown.
Yeah,
You drown, and then what happens? You start resenting the people that are holding you back,
that's true.
right? And so then you either lash out at them, or it's just you just resent them. You start hating them.
Yeah.
Resentment leads to indifference, which leads to ultimately hate.
Yeah, even though it's your own fault.
Right? It's your own fault for not
Taking action. Yeah.
not being true to yourself. Right? So this happens where everybody evolves and elevates their circle group. Now, what can this person do? So you have your old group and you have a new group you're trying to get into, right? Whatever that group is. Start submerging yourself into the new group, right? And this happens with in these car meets that I go to, right? We'll go. You'll see the same guys with the owners of the cars, these badass, $500,000, $1 million rides. But in these car meets, you also see young kids and people who they don't drive any of these cars, but they're in the group. They're in there mixing around, asking questions, talking.
They're around them.
They're around, right? Now, there's an etiquette, okay? There's an etiquette. If you're not kind of in the inn, there's an etiquette to approaching people in the inn. Don't be an asshole. Don't be like smothering, like over, like shadowing somebody all the way around the car show, like, tied to, that's happened to me. It's like very uncomfortable. It's like, bro, you need to back off. And I'll never talk to them again. Like you don't know how to, so like, and not to say I'm the person, like I talk to other people. So there's kind of an etiquette, and how you get into these groups. Don't go into these when you're leveling up to new groups. Don't go into these groups to sell shit. Do not go into sell shit. You're new. If there were a ladder of success, you're on a lower ladder, right?
Got it.
People will be like, man, well, you're here just trying to sell shit. I don't need to talk to you. You're not going to really,
I'm here for a good time.
Yeah, I'm here to just hang out.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to sell me shit at a time where I'm trying to relax? Like, I'm getting sold shit all the time.
It's a Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday. I'm chilling with people and looking at nice cars. Don't go to these things to try to sell shit. Go in, just talk. Hey, what do you do? If you ask somebody, hey man, that's a beautiful. This is for all you people want to break into these car groups, high end groups, whatever. In the car context, hey man, that's a beautiful car. How long you've had it? And you have a conversation about the car.
Yeah, actually build up on,
Get the other person to start. Everybody likes to talk about themselves. That's a beautiful car, man. How long you've had it? Yeah. What do you love about it? Right? Why'd you choose this over this other kind of car?
Yeah.
Right? What do you feel when you're driving it? Man, I'd love to have a car like that someday. Like, what do you do for a living? How did you get there? Man, that's so cool. And keep it at that. And you might be able to say, and most of these car dudes have, like me, we have our Instagram handle on our car because we're kind of, we're vain that way sometimes. But then you can, hey man, you mind if I follow you on your Instagram? Yeah, follow me, man. Me, you follow me, hey, reach out anytime you got any questions. That's what I always say, because I like to give back. Any questions you got, just reach out to me.
What's annoyed you the most? What type of
The
questions annoy you
dudes
the
that
most?
break this kind of code, man. Like they're hovering.
Give an example.
They're tagging, bro. The worst is like, I had a guy recently. We're at a car show. I arrive early, try to get, I arrive early because the lines can be long to get in and park your car in, good spots. And I'm in, and I get out, and there's this dude, He doesn't say much. He's at a lot of these shows. And literally, I'm walking around the entire car show looking at other cars, not saying a word, just minding my own business, appreciating, beautiful machinery. I swear this dude follows me within a foot. Like, he's like almost shoulder to shoulder with me the whole time.
Wow.
Right? And I'm trying not to be rude to say, hey, yo, bro, back off, because I see him around. But I'm like purposely zigzagging where like he can't follow me, but he's there. And it's just a nauseating, uncomfortable feeling at 8 a.m. on Sunday. Like, yo, bro, like, just chill, man. Just chill. People that got no chill that's very annoying to me, because I just like to take things chill. And so you don't want to break this kind of code of etiquette on. It's like,
So was he trying to sell you something, or was he just
no,
trying to
I really don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know, bro. But no, it's like to this question though, it's like,
Was it Nate?
no, it wasn't Nate, man. He knows better. Since I'm his dad, he'll go the opposite direction, bro. But to level up your group, you got to find, these groups that you want to get into. It could be a networking event.
Yeah.
It could be a gala. A lot of successful people go to gala, charity balls. It might cost you $150, $200, maybe $1,000 a ticket.
But that's where the
But
people are,
but look at this. Look at this. These galas. What happens at these galas is companies or very successful people, they want to showcase what they got sometimes, and they'll spend $10,000 on a table to sponsor it, right? Or individuals will spend $1,000 a ticket. But when you go, what happens at a gala? You go, you mingle a little bit, have hors d'oeuvres, have drinks, and then you go sit down at a dinner table. And at these dinner tables, usually they're seating for 10, right? So you're at a table with 9 other arguably successful people. So then you introduce yourself. Hey, I'm so-and-so. You there? I'm so-and-so. Hey, so what brings you to this gala? Well, they talk about their cause or their charity or their business.
The
What do you
initial
do
spark,
for a
yeah.
living? So now all of a sudden you've got 9 people that you're going to spend about an hour, hour and a half with, having dinner while they do their awards or ceremony or whatever, that you can converse with for $1,000 or less.
Yeah.
You get to dress up, nice, whatever, carry yourself well. And that's not including just the networking, mingling around before and after. So a gala, I think, is one of the best investments you can make if you're trying to level up to the next whatever. Because again, you're going to sit around at least 9 people, as long as you don't act a fool and, break that code of etiquette, which should be another chapter, another thing on my university. But there's a gala, you're sitting around 9 other people, talk about business, talk about causes, events, knowing other people. And then if you're cool, hey, man, exchange numbers. Hey, you mind if I keep in touch after this? Mind if I treat you to a cup of coffee? I want to learn more about your business or how I can help you. Mind if I take you to lunch? People, no, just give me a call, right? They're not going to be rude at a gala and say, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to do that.
Mhm.
They're going to just reach out sometime.
Yeah.
And it might lead to something, might not. But at 1 out of 10, 10% chance, or 1 out of 9, whatever that math is, it might hit. And it only takes 1 to put you on the path. So there's multiple different ways to level up your network. But A, you got to be willing to have hard conversations and leave people behind, or else you're going to get weighted down and you're going to start resenting them. Ultimately, you're going to get indifferent, going to hate them,
Yeah.
right? And at the same time, as you level up, you got to bring a code. The best way as you level up, how can I help you? For free. For free. How can I bring value to what you're doing? Because then you hang around a lot. It's like you, man. At the very, very beginning, we were doing, at the very, very beginning, we were recording episodes. And I'm like, yo, bro, like, how much would it be to do this? He said, don't worry about it. Remember? Yeah. No, it's the same cost as before. I'll just do it extra for you. You did extra shit for essentially free. So I'm like, okay, I can work with this guy. Because the last thing I want is some dude nitpicking me, it's going to be an extra $20. That's going to be an extra 50. That's going to be extra 100. Yeah. It's like, come on, man. Like, just
And the mindset
Yeah,
on that was he doesn't know what I do. He doesn't know the quality of work I can provide.
exactly. Until I do know, and then
Until I
what?
do,
And then I'd start paying you more.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what happens is people at levels up, they're always getting hit up. Hey man, I got this. I can do this for you. I can do that. Just do it and don't ask for anything in return.
Yeah.
And keep doing it. Keep doing it. You might be like, man, I'm doing this for free. I'm doing this. No, you're creating value. Trust me.
Yeah.
And they notice. And then ultimately at some point in time, they're going to be like, hey, I really need this. Can you help me? I'll pay you for it. That's what happens. My car detail guy. Hey man, first couple washes free. Pay me whatever you want.
The same guy?
Well, I kind of rotate around because it's a big, it's a small community.
Yeah.
I want everybody to kind of make money.
That makes sense.
But this one kid, right out of high school, starting his own business. Same thing. His parents are like, you need to go to college. He's like, no, I'm going to do my own detail shop.
Mhm.
Came up. Even to this day, it's been like, I don't know, a year almost. He doesn't tell me how much to pay him. I just text him, hey, can you come through? Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Washes a car. I pay him whatever. I pay him fairly, but he never said it's going to be this much. Never. And I would say the first 3 months was free. It was free. I paid him, but it was like, I'll do it for free. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So you just tipped him.
Now I'm tipping him,
got it.
but I'm tipping him what it would cost to
Yeah.
wash the car. But he said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. And now I use him all the time. I recommend him to other people. That's how it works. And then he'll charge you other people.
Yeah.
But that's how you get in, is just, I don't know, it's just kind of like a code. Like the more you get up, it's like, is this the gut check is like, is this dude cool or not?
It's logical.
Yeah, but it's just a gut vibe. It's like,
Yeah.
is this a cool dude? Can we really I don't know the language these ways. Can we really fuck with this dude?
Yeah. You have to prove yourself first.
Yeah, but you
can't
got to
really-
prove it.
Yeah.
Because the trust component. Again, the more successful you are, the more they get hit up. So what? The more they are cynical
filter,
about
okay.
trust. They're trying to filter out the
Yeah.
bullshit because they get hit up so much. Like, man, I don't know if I want to deal with this dude next.
Yeah.
Because they're getting hit up so much.
Yeah. And I think at that level, your level, it's not just about the work. It's also about like how does this person behave, his etiquette.
Huge.
Right?
Huge. I got to tell you, that's huge.
Yeah.
It goes back to, I don't know, there was one podcast where I'm like, surround yourself with people that are willing to go to fight with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of, for me, it's kind of that vibe.
Yeah.
It's like, is this dude cool enough where shit goes down, or female, if shit goes down, like we got each other's back.
Yeah.
It's really that level, because shit will inevitably go down. A deal gone sideways, just something misunderstanding, shit will go down, and who's got your back?
Yeah.
So when I'm figuring out who I want to hang out with or do business with, it's like, can they really, can they really pinch it and go to battle? You can go to battle. You're gonna get these
Go to
battle
battle.
boys, right? But is it a cool dude to hang out? Because it's like you and your crew, like Damien, on 2 days ago, drove all the way out to Fulshire, which is about 20 miles west of here, to video Nate's game. Nate twisted his ankle ahead of time the day before, so he couldn't play. So the Damien drove all the way out there, paid fee to get in, all this stuff. And I was like, man, I forgot to call you, bro. Nate's not playing. Twisted his ankle. Oh, okay, cool. It's all right.
Yeah.
Right?
That's important.
That's important, because now I'm like, okay, cool. But somebody else, oh, man, you should have called me. I can't believe I wasted my time. I drove all the way out here, man. You owe me my money back. Blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, man, why would I want... Dude, he twisted his ankle like he's not playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's that kind of deal where you're like, there's like stuff you can really get upset about between friends and stuff, business partners, but then there's like the little stuff. And for me personally, and this might be different for other people, like, if you can tolerate me on the little things, I'm gonna be able to tolerate you on the little things. It's okay. It's like, sometimes you're late. Man, it's all right, dude. Sometimes I'm late. Man, it's all right. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Right? That's easy to work with, versus stressing and sweating and I don't want to deal with that. So, but I think that mentality is the same as you level up. Now, that doesn't mean be late. That means be on time, because you're lower on the ladder. So the more you prove your value, people want to help you. Believe it or not, they want to help you climb up the ladder. But you got to prove yourself
Yeah,
worthy of that help.
especially if they see potential in you.
Right. But you got to be you got to see, they got to see the potential. They got to see you want it. And they got to see that you're worthy of their time to help you. Because the last thing they want to do is spend a lot of time with you. And then you goof off and fuck around. And you're like, what the fuck? I wasted my time on this guy.
But I think people at the higher up, they can like, I'm pretty sure you can even tell like if somebody's worth spending that time or not.
Oh, you can smell it right away.
Yeah, you can smell it right away.
Because again, going back to the first question, your perspective has been around time wasters and all. You've already been around that. So now you know what to look for. Yeah. So now you have more options. This guy's cool. I can, but they're not going to proactively go out and help you. Now that's the other thing. I don't wake up in the morning, man, who can I help today? Like that. No, you got to like reach out. You got to help. You got to be proactive in your advancement. You got to go out. Hey, man, can I stop by, bring you some lunch? Got a couple questions for you. I'll be like, yeah, come on through. I got to eat, right? Yeah. But it's not like, hey, bring me some lunch so we can talk. I'm not going to reach out. I'm not going to do that. You got to come with it in order for somebody to help you. But believe it or not, at that upper level, everyone, I don't say everyone, a lot of people want to help those below them. Right? But they can't help everyone. So you've got to find a way to filter up to where people are willing to help you along your way. It might be somebody in your same industry, especially in these car groups. You'll meet a lot of people from different industries. And I don't want to emphasize car groups, but in these networking events, you're going to find people with different industries. And when you find somebody who's already walked the path you're wanting to walk, you want to get with that person a lot. Yeah. A lot. And it's like, hey, man, and don't come in at it as a competitive thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you have a video production company? I want to do a video production company. Can you tell me everything you know? No, it's not like, no. It's like, you'll be like, what?
Well, why?
Why would I tell you all my secrets? No.
Give me 2 reasons why.
No, give me one reason why I want to help you. No, it's like, hey, I really appreciate your work. I think you do fantastic work. If it's okay if I can ask you a couple questions here or then just to learn from you. I don't want to compete with you. I just want to learn about how to be a good videographer, production guy, right? And you might be like, okay, whatever, just hit me up. And you develop a relationship of trust. But you can't come in like that. Barging through the door. People are like, whoa, back up, Jack. Slow down. So that's a hard thing for young people, especially, to learn.
Yeah, knowing your place.
Because you got to kind of regulate that eagerness. You can be over eager where it's a turnoff. There's a difference in eagerness and being passionate and controlling that, right? And understanding, the dynamics, right? You can be so self-centered on your enthusiasm that you forget how it looks from the outside. Yeah. And that can be dangerous. So you got to balance that.
You got to smooth it out.
Yeah. Really, really, really good questions, man. That's 2, right?
Yeah, I think that's all the questions, but a follow-up to that would be the questions the statement we were discussing. What are some mistakes that young entrepreneurs make in your eyes?
Mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I know we went through some.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of solutions, but what are some blatant mistakes you see that they make?
There's a lot, man.
Let's go through some.
One is, it goes to knowledge, right? A smart man, I say man kind of in the generalized sense, a smart person will learn from their own mistakes. A wise person will learn through the mistakes of others. So that's to say, entrepreneurs don't read enough. They don't research enough. They don't take time to plan. They just go. And if you just go, you're going to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? Reading, think about this. Let's say you read 5 biographies of successful business people. People write their biographies usually at the end of their career. And let's say the average career is 30 years. Okay, so people have worked in a career 30 years, write a biography about their success. You read 5 biographies, that's 150 years of life that you can learn from just by reading. Yeah. And it'll take you probably a week to read a book. So in 5 weeks, you're going to learn lessons from 150 years of life. Right? versus not reading and making 150 years of potential mistakes. So you see the value of that? You're capturing 5 lifetimes in 5 months and learning and the mistakes and what worked, what didn't work, how it happened, how to handle situations. Business people write about situations that either messed them up or how they overcame, or how they looked at things differently. And so when you read these books, you're learning 5 lifetimes in 5 weeks. And that is wisdom. Now, you can go live your life without this wisdom and make those same mistakes.
Yeah.
You're going to learn from them,
Mm-hmm.
but did you really have to go through them?
You didn't.
No. So that's one thing. Young entrepreneurs don't learn enough. They don't read enough because of their phone, but they don't read enough to avoid these mistakes. Secondly, they don't find a mentor early enough.
I think that's a big one.
That's a huge one. I didn't at all, but I took a different career path because I was in the academics and all that for a long time. Medicine, law, all that stuff. So they don't find a mentor, preferably in your field or in your industry, early enough. And a mentor would be someone, it could be someone close in age, but then that gets competitive.
Yeah.
Right? It could be somebody kind of like close to retirement, a little older, and then just, take them to lunch, invite them to coffee. Hey, do you mind if we meet once a month? I can treat you to breakfast and we'll just have conversation.
Yeah. Does it have to be in person?
Preferably.
Okay.
I'm a vibe guy, so it's hard to get vibes electronically.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like I like to read the energy in a room. I like to read the energy in a conversation. But that's just me. So it could be over, whatever. But I think because of the technology, human interaction needs to come back.
Yeah.
So they don't find a mentor early enough, and that goes back to wisdom because you're going to learn a lot just through conversations. Thirdly, is going back to before is they jump too quick. They take the leap too fast without the proper planning, because what inevitably happens, things go wrong.
Yeah, blows up on their face.
Blows up on them, right? And that leads to the fourth thing, which is quit too early. Right? Oh man, this didn't work out the first time, so then let me try something else. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, it's like, I forget the exact statistics, 5 to 7% of the population are entrepreneurs, right? And 1% of those are successful, like they can make a living out of it. And when I say entrepreneurs, that could be like just small mom and pop restaurant. That's an entrepreneur, right? Hole in the wall, right? So that means 1% of 7% of the entire population can earn a living through entrepreneurship, which means what? It's really fucking hard to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard, right? So I think the first mistake is thinking you can be an entrepreneur just like that.
Yeah.
You got to really know if you can do it or not.
Don't do it for the
Don't do it for the hype,
Laptop
post it on
on the beach,
Instagram. I'm in front of my jet, which is probably rented. Don't do it for that bullshit. No.
Laptop on the beach.
Yeah, laptop on the beach. Hey, I did this working 1 hour a day. No, you're gonna do it working 20 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it actually takes. Yeah. Right? That's the real truth. No, none of this. 4-hour work week. I get it, but that's not the real deal.
Yeah, a lot of this lifestyle is fake.
No, this lifestyle is no. It's gutting it out. It's like in the trenches. It's fuck. I got $200,000 in payroll tomorrow, and I only got $10,000 in the bank. What am I gonna do?
Yeah,
it's that kind of stress, and so it's hard. But people jump too fast, and they don't stay long enough because it's a war of attrition. Because when failure and falling out is the most likely outcome, let's say you start with 100 people wanting to be entrepreneurs, instantly 90 of them are going to fall out early.
Yeah, because they see the work.
They see the work. They see the reality. They see it's not 1 hour on the beach with your laptop, drop shipping.
Yeah.
And then out of that 90%, out of the 10 that are remaining, there's going to be 2 left. And then in the end, it's going to be the battle of the two. Who can last the longest? So it's actually a war of attrition on who can actually succeed, right? And here's the thing, though, is if you get down to the last two, what happens? 98% of the competition is gone, right? So you can be competing against each other, but both be successful if you're the last two standing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's actually a war of attrition. So there are a lot of mistakes. And any of y'all being entrepreneurs out there, if you're considering it, thinking about it, have questions about it,
Go through your whole life. Right?
message me so I can talk you out of it. Right? No, that's an honest thing. Message me so I can talk you out of it. And then if you still want to be it, then best of luck to you.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in the day, and we can close on this, is when people ask me where I got my entrepreneurship kind of viewpoints is growing up, sons of entrepreneurs. My family, my parents left after the Vietnam War with nothing. They were very well off, left with absolutely nothing. New country, don't know the language, don't know the culture, don't know the formalities, whatever. Borrowed some money, started a printing business, and with 4 young boys, and in a few years, multi-million-dollar business with 40, 50 employees. How did that happen? Well, going back to the beginning, we were in sleeping bags at the print shop.
Yeah.
We would hear the machines running at 2 a.m. My parents, them screaming at each other, arguing. We would wake up and brush our teeth with our fingers, like we'd put literally toothpaste on your finger, going like this, right? Splashing water in their face and then sweeping the floors for them. Like, it was like that. And then as they grew their business, they ran out of space in their leasing, where they were leasing. And they started, and we got a home ultimately, but then they started putting equipment in our home. So the living room wasn't a couch and all. The living room were like printing presses in the living room of our house. And the kitchen had, inventory, and like literally it was an extension of the print shop.
Wow.
So you got to be willing to put up with that stuff. There are a lot of, nothing against wives and stuff, but there are a lot of women who are like, no, we're not putting the equipment in our living room. And well, that's a hindrance, because it's a whatever it takes mentality. We can't afford extra space of office. This is the only space we got. We're putting it here.
Yeah.
And you got to be willing to have people that are willing to understand that and go along with it.
It's very important.
Because it's all or nothing. Because the odds are 99.9% failure. So it's got to be all or nothing to be successful. And so, again, if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, please DM me or talk to me, because I'm going to talk your shit out of it. I discourage it. But that's what America needs. And, going into it with full knowledge, then, I'm okay with that. But it is ripe with failure. You might get a flash in the pan, but not sustainable. You may make $1 million real quick,
You have to sustain it. Yeah.
but you have to sustain it. Money's easy to make.
Yeah,
It's
you can't enjoy the money ever.
No.
Especially
No.
as an entrepreneur.
No.
You
People,
never can.
the fallacies. Once you make some money, you think it's always going to be there. No. You got to work. You got to work to keep it.
Yeah.
So we good?
Yeah, I think that's it.
That was a good one to end the year with, man. Last episode of 2023. We're looking for an exciting 2024. We got a lot of things ready for y'all. Working on it, planning it. We'll announce it very, very soon. Thank you all for being on this ride with us for the last year and a half. We're only going up from here. If you enjoyed the show, found value, which I hope you did, please do like, follow, comment, share, subscribe, especially share and subscribe. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Rate us. That's how we rank higher. If your knowledge swole, share the show. That is how we all grow. I want to end the year with an expression of gratitude. End the episode with an expression of gratitude. Also end the year as I end my day before I put my head down, go to sleep. Thank the God, thank the universe for another day to have lived and an opportunity to be great. Grateful for the opportunities. Grateful for you, man. You and your squad. Arib Mirza. If you want to follow him, it's Arib, Areeb.
Arib Mirza.
Arib Mirza, Mirza on Instagram, and also Focus, FOKUS.vid on Instagram. A lot of pearls, a lot of tips on videography and business generally. But thank you all for being on this ride. So hyped up for 2024. Be safe, Have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you're celebrating with your friends and family. And then we'll bring you another episode right before New Year's. But looking forward to bringing you that. Thank you so much for listening. Peace out.
What's up, man?